Welcome to The Icons by Motiversity.
Not just in a regular appointment with some doctor telling me that it's over. I had to use those stories and those processes and those challenges that I overcame to help me overcome the challenge of not playing.
Just days ago, it was announced that Chris Bosh was named to the Hall of Fame class of 2021. He was a two-time NBA champion, 11-time NBA All-Star. His jersey, the number 1, was retired by Miami Heat. As a high school student, he was named Mr. Basketball in Texas. I think a quote in the foreword of his new book, written by the legendary Pat Riley, says it best. Chris, you fully and consciously embrace sacrificing your own statistics for the good of the team. In my opinion, you became the central figure in making this big 3 thing work. Chris Bosh, welcome to Motiversity.
Thanks very much, man. Thanks for having me.
You know, Motiversity is based here in Canada, and like I said, you are still sports royalty up here. And I know that I'm just so motivated by people who aren't just good at one thing, but they excel everywhere. And that's been you. And when I picked up Letters to a Young Athlete, I smashed 100 pages in the first setting. I kid you not. And it felt like...
That's awesome.
Yeah, it felt like this was your playbook. This was the life lessons that you needed to learn to get you ready to be at the highest level, everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the intent. One of the interesting things in writing the book, I had to use those stories and those processes and those challenges that I overcame to help me overcome the challenge of not playing.
Yeah.
That was the most important thing at the time. I had just felt like I had the game ripped away from me. And it was just more than, it was more than a game. That was a part of my identity. It was who I was. It's what I thought about. It's what I laughed over, cried over. It was my job, my passion. All of those things just one day were gone. And that came through playing the game, and I wasn't able to play it anymore. So I found myself in a position where I had to, look back and kind of look within and try to figure out what it was I was going to do. And, a lot of the time, one of the things that shocked me was how casual, and there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody has their own lives, right? But how casual it was. Oh, Chris, you'll be fine. You've got a lot of money and everything will be fine. And I'm like, okay, I'm 31. You're telling me to just go off into retirement. You're telling me it's about the money. Why am I not thinking about money right now? I'm not thinking anything about money. I don't have as much as you think I have because it's this thing called taxes. And they don't put how much you get taxed up there with how much you get paid, and I'm in this brand new world and I don't know what's going on. I'm scared. And, I just found myself reflecting and I had to really, really look within to kind of figure out how I was going to get through this new obstacle. And I just found myself kind of unpacking everything from my life and my childhood. Because, the minute I started playing basketball full time, everything just went by so fast, you can't even really comprehend it. You just go to the next practice, the next bus ride, the next game. I found myself in a situation where I was unpacking everything that had happened. I could reflect on those things that helped me. The bus rides, coach opening the gym for us to let us in so we could, play longer and then taking us home afterwards. Those were the main things that were on my mind as I went, and unpacked everything were those steps and those people who helped me along the way. And of course I have to give myself credit too, right? The work that I put in, I've had friends, tell me, and we've been sitting here reflecting on it and talking about it, and they were always telling me, yeah, you were in the gym all the time, all day, every day. You worked at it. This is all you did. So, to unpack those great stories, it's a good feeling to be able to look back on it and really be appreciative of it and more importantly, tell those stories so that hopefully one day somebody can read it, take it for their own, and it will help them through a situation.
Let's go back to you as a young athlete, high school. What would I have seen in you away from the game?
Well, that's a funny thing. I had other interests as well. I mean, it was only just basketball, but then eventually you have to go home and fill your time with other things other than homework and school. Of course, I had friends. One of the things that I really caught wind of was graphic design. I joined this this club called the Whiz Kids because we couldn't practice between 3:45 and 5 o'clock. We always had to share our gyms. We didn't have that many resources where I went to school. So we have 6 teams that have to practice with 2 gyms. And so as a varsity team, we always had to wait. And so, that's the main time when you get in trouble, especially as an adolescent or a teenager. And it was this club called the Whiz Kids that I found out about, and I started learning about computer graphics. Then not too long after that, I joined the robotics club, and they found out I could do AutoCAD, some way or another, and I started spending my time before practice doing those things. I just loved it because I was always exercising my mind. I was always doing those things that I love doing. I love tinkering with stuff. I love messing with computers. And, it was kind of like a perfect world for me where I could, go with my friends. We do the after school club. It was kind of like a secret thing. It was our thing. And then right after that, I can go play basketball and hopefully get some shots up after practice. That's a perfect day for me.
I think that kind of multidimensionality that you have probably speaks to your versatility in so many different ways. When we think about the moment, Chris, that you decided that basketball was going to be your future, was there a moment? Mm-hmm. And if so, like what was it? What caused you to say that's now it?
It was, I want to say long process. It was, but not that long. For me, I knew that I was going to play basketball professionally, or at least I had a very, very good shot when I was 17 years old. That's when I knew all the way. Now, before that, that's all I ever did. It's funny. It's a funny question. You say, when did you do basketball, or when did you know basketball was going to be it? I always knew it. I always worked towards it. The NBA was my goal from the jump, every day, all day, but I just didn't do it with words. I went and I went to go seek the information. If I heard Michael Jordan got 1,000 shots up, well, if he's doing it, I want to be like that one day. I need to get 1,000 shots up. I looked for any morsel of information that would help me in my journey. And so, I wanted to make sure that I worked as hard as they did. If I heard about how hard they worked, I wanted to do that same thing, because it just made sense to me. If the pros are doing this, then this is what I am aspiring to do. I might not even be able to get up 1,000 shots because I have to go, or I have to go home, or I'm too tired. But you eventually work up your stamina. You have those goals that you want to reach. And this is just on the practice level. This isn't even playing games. This isn't doing anything attached to glory yet. We're just talking about love and dedication of being in the gym. I just love being in the gym. And so I really started putting way more work in around 13, 14 years old. I became more serious about it. I had coaches who helped me. Like I told you before, they gave me those rides, pick me up, take me home, leave the gym open, give me the keys. They allowed me to achieve that work ethic, by helping me out. Because without that work ethic, greatness cannot be achieved. So you've got to really love what you're doing. You have to just go at it wholeheartedly. You got to put everything into it. You've got to obsess over it. That was pretty much what I did. And at 17, I started hitting those markers of saying, wow, my heroes did this same exact thing. I'm right here where they were as well. I've got a shot. And that was the day where it was really, really serious.
Picking up the book, work ethic was one of the themes that just came through loud and clear. A lot of us wonder, what does that level of work ethic look like? If you take yourself from a 17-year-old going into the pros at a really young age, 1 year into university, what does the work ethic look like all the way through? Take me into a practice.
I was, you want the pros or the college level? We'll start at college level. Yeah, we'll start at college level because, that's a very good barometer. A typical day in college for a student athlete, usually about 2-3 days a week. This would be one of the days. We'd get up at around 6 a.m. so we could lift weights at 6:30. Afterwards at around 7:45, 8 o'clock, we'll probably get some breakfast. We got class at 9, from about 9 to about 2:30. Then we had to walk to practice. Some days you might have individual work, so you have to be there an hour early and get your work in. And then we practiced. Now, when we practiced, it was a solid 3 hours and 10 minutes. It was never, that's about the average. Sometimes it'll go 3.5. Sometimes it'll be 250. But 3 hours and 10 minutes is the wheelhouse. Then around that time, we'd have to get dressed, of course, shower. And it'll be right at around 7 o'clock. We try to get to dinner by 6:30, 7 o'clock. We get to dinner, we eat, and then we have a mandatory 2 hours of study hall afterwards. So, I haven't said anything about being social. It was just all work. And, that's not including the games. That's not including preparation and meetings and treatment if you have to get treatment if you're hurt. Those were the requirements almost every day as a student athlete. And then, I get to the pros. What was so crazy about the pros is it's kind of up to you, but the hours are already immense. So you have to take into effect that on a game day, usually people see your favorite, you see your favorite player playing from 7:30 to 9:30, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Well, if we're playing a 7:30 game, I get up at 9:30, so I can be at the gym at 10:30, so we can do our walkthrough in preparation for the game that night, which is about an hour. Then we have to get treatment again, cover up those nicks and knacks, shower. I'm out the gym by about 12, and I would take a nap, eat lunch, take a nap. Then I'm right back at the gym. And, the true shock was after the game. If we have a back-to-back and we're playing a game in Charlotte the next night, well, right after the game, we're headed to the airport. We're flying into Charlotte. We're on the bus. Then we check into our hotel so we can be up for another 7 o'clock game the next day. So, the pros, it was the immense amount of games, and that's 82 games a year. It was a traveling show. So you always had to be ready, have your bags packed, have your identification. In my case, my passport. And, on top of practicing and lifting weights and appearances, because it's a professional game now. So you have to do things for the season ticket holders, just these requirements that you have to meet. It became immense, but I eventually got used to it. And if you want to be the best at something, you're going to find a way to push through those challenges and make sure you do what you need to do to be successful.
When I picked up your book, one of the lines that caught me early on, you said, there's a lot of people in your ear nowadays, and all of them think they know. But I know what it takes. And then you start to get into these life lessons. Why was it so important to write this book and frame it for young people?
Well, we wanted to frame it for young people because, of course, I think we all consider ourselves, hopefully we all consider ourselves young. And when you think of talking to a younger person, you think more simply. The language, you're not trying to use too much advanced language to try to get your point across. It's simple, it's to the point, and it's to where people can understand it. And that was pretty much the goal, of course, of this book. And it helped me from a writing standpoint kind of write to myself almost, because I see so much of myself in young athletes, and I had some people along the way who helped me to tell me, I just want to see you do good. I don't want anything from you, because in your quest for greatness, and especially if you want to be a professional athlete, people just want to take from you. They'll see something good and they just want to take all the time for their own benefit, or they'll be your friend for their own benefit. It's not to actually help you. This is to actually help people, because I'm paying it back. This is my memento to the game, because so many people throughout my process helped me. And I had a coach specifically tell me one time, I just want to see you do good. I don't want anything from you. I want to see what you can accomplish through hard work, through dedication, through commitment, through teamwork. And, I just felt that through literature, this was such a great way to kind of give away those gems as well, because I've had so many books to help me. That's where I felt that, man, wow, I've taken in so much from reading books. I think this will work, and I think this will be there for people who are looking for something and looking to be inspired and looking just for that 1% to help them get just a little better, a little bit closer to your goal. That's what I'm hoping this will help people do.
What do you think your edge is over everybody else?
Right now, or back when I was playing?
I think it's still around, but back when you were playing.
Back when I was playing, yeah, it doesn't go anywhere, right? Back when I was playing, my edge was my intensity. My edge was my focus and my commitment. I put everything into the game. I prepared. I dreamt about it. I visualized it. I always prepared myself mentally for whatever is coming. And I felt that was my edge. Just kind of like I was alluding to earlier, I read books. I felt that was an edge as well. I've read these different books on mental toughness, and I'm going to take nuggets from each one to maybe it'll help me, because I know I'm going into a tough situation and it's going to be extremely hard, but I'm not going to give up. And it doesn't even matter if the other side knows that about me. They're in trouble before they even lace it up. That's how I felt every single match. I didn't care who I was playing. And, it kind of spills over into this day. It's all about work ethic. It's all about what you choose to do in life, what is important to you. What is that goal that you're going to identify and go after and say, I'm going to go after this thing wholeheartedly. It doesn't matter what other people say. This is what I feel. It's positive. I love it. The whole world disappears when I do it, and I'm going to channel this thing so I can help myself, so I can help other people. I think, putting everything into finding that's kind of what I transfer it to now. But like now, I just try to, do it with my work ethic, be responsible, think about those things that I'm putting my time into, and what I want to accomplish while I'm doing these things. I think that's where I'm at now. But the passion, the purpose, that never goes anywhere.
I think one of the things that, there's so many stories and accolades that come with your career. One of the things that it often isn't talked about as much is just how clutch you were. I mean, you were clutch, man. And
I appreciate that.
Walk me into the prep, into a game, into those moments. Like, what does it take to have your mindset ready when it comes down to it?
Believing in yourself, a lot of hard work and a lot of visualization. And I know that kind of sounds like very, very simple, but, I think Da Vinci said simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, right? I would try to practice those things over and over. Kobe and Jordan were my heroes. And that was one of the things, if you watch basketball, you hear about how clutch people are. And it's not always making the last shot. It's under pressure doing what you're supposed to do and coming out successful. So, sometimes it would be a big rebound. Sometimes it would be an assist. Sometimes it would be defense. Sometimes it would be not making a fuss if coach subbed me out. That could be clutch as well. But I always saw myself being successful. And in terms of shots, anytime I hit a big shot, everyone would be so surprised and just like, wow. I would be surprised if I didn't make it. I put the work into this like every day, all day. And then when I'm done with it, guess what I do? I dream about it. I visualize it. I see myself being successful. I see myself hitting those shots with no time on the clock, with a little time on the clock. And then I'll do it again and say, hey, what if we're down 2? Then I'll do it again and say, what if we're down 3? It's a never ending game. And anytime I was successful in those situations, I would always let people know it's through dedication, through your hard work, and through mental preparation and visualization. If you do those things, if you can see yourself being successful in your mind, then it will appear in the physical reality if you're calm and collected when you get the opportunity. Right? Sometimes we get the opportunity and we rush it. You have to have total just commitment and dedication, and just know you have to have faith too, because I've worked hard enough to be in this position. I'm going to let my training kick in because I've been here before. I've thought about it. This is what it feels like. It's almost crazy because it's deja vu, and that's how I tried to kind of approach those situations. So when I was able to be successful, it was a great thing. It's a regular day. It's a normal day. If I miss it, that's abnormal. That's how I felt.
When you say it's not always a shot, you're part of a string of iconic moments in Miami. Game 6, Spurs, second championship, rebound, shot block. That goes down into lore, Chris. Let's talk about you going to Miami. How does that materialize? Yeah. So, Big 3, how does that go from a crazy idea between 3 superstars to actually happening?
Well, by the time it was an idea, it was already, the Miami had the cap space and the ability to do that. They were the only team in the league who could do that at that time, to do the 3 superstars thing. Every other team could only do 2, which some teams had, like Chicago already had Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah and Luol Deng. They had a very, very solid core to build off of. But, I'm going to give credit to Pat Riley on that one. Of course, we had our intentions as players to put ourselves in a championship position, but it just doesn't stop there, right? I had to be convinced that, okay, what is possible is possible. And he pretty much definitely had a big role in it because, just in his speech, for one, he's a great speaker. But 2, he pretty much just told us we're on the precipice, or at least told me that, we're on the precipice of greatness, just at a chance at greatness. And it doesn't happen every now and then. That's pretty much the message he delivered. And he definitely made me feel that, it, of course, is about championships, but legacy as well, as a basketball player and as a person. He got those things. And, just looking back on his career, he was one of those people that if I could talk to that person, even if it's just for 5 minutes, just get some sort of energy from him, I could be great. He just oozes it. And I know for me that really helped me in my situation because I wanted to win a championship. I wanted to be successful in that regard. So I was looking for a place that better suited me for that.
that idea of greatness. I mean, congratulations, 2021 Hall of Fame. I think that's the capstone to, I've been great in this sport. And greatness followed your career. I think that's what's interesting is that you came out of one of the strongest draft classes ever. And you were around greatness your whole career, and you still succeeded. But you played with LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Kobe. What did you learn about greatness from those players?
The aspirations, the dreams of what it takes, the commitment to hard work, but more importantly, how many lumps you've got to take. If you want to be great, oh man, prepare to get up off that mat. You're going to get knocked down over and over and over. And even when you feel like, I can't be hit this hard. Or if you're down there thinking, it's no way I can get up from this. That's when you're just starting. That's when it really that's when your survival skills have to kick in, and hopefully you've trained enough in your mental preparation and really believe enough in yourself to get up. Because, everybody, I think we always said, the easiest thing to do is hold that trophy. That's the easiest thing to do in this process. And that's only going to be for a very short amount of time. The work, the will, the commitment. Like I said, getting up when you're knocked down. I mean, throughout Kobe's career and Michael's career, LeBron's career, Dwayne's career, Magic Johnson's career, there's always going to be these struggles or challenges that you have to get over. And the hardest part is in you trying to be one of the best in the game, there's going to be a tension with it, right? You're put on a pedestal and you fall even harder, when you do. So I really had to learn how much you have to prepare. You have to live it. You have to want it so bad to where you'll sacrifice those Saturday nights or Friday nights with your friends. You'll sacrifice if you're in high school or something and the dance is this week. If there's more dances, hey, I'm going to the gym. This is what I'm going to put my time into because this is what I want. And being around all of those great players, getting to see their commitments, see their rituals, see how much they put into the game. I mean, it was second to none. And I always take those processes. And, that's what I tried to bring into the book as well. I wanted to interject those stories that I heard from my heroes as well. Just because people need to hear it. You need to hear how much work goes into it. Like I say, they always see us doing the easy part, hold the trophy and kiss it. And that's what everybody sees. They don't see the day where you do not feel like going to the gym at all. Nobody can talk me into it. Even yourself, you're telling yourself, no, I'm too tired. I'm achy. There's no way I can make it. You got to go. You have to stick to what you said you were going to do. And that's one of the main things I got from those guys.
First chapter of your book starts with fatigue. And I love that. I mean, it speaks to what you were just talking about with greatness. It's not, the trophy is the easy part, but I'm assuming you're tired.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're already, ready to give up. And I don't know if you recognize this, but the first athlete you bring up in the book is Candace Parker. And, we talk about hard work ethic. What inspires you so much about her?
We were in the '08 Olympics, and she told me that, and just hearing not only her, but all of the women. Women don't get their just due. And I can only speak to the WNBA players. They don't get their just due overall. But specifically, the women who are playing professional basketball, I thought I had it rough, okay? Listening to their schedule on an Olympic year, it was crazy. It's basketball year round. There is no 2-week break. The only 2-week break that they get, if they get that, they don't get it. They go right, and we're already in China, Some of our women were going straight to training camp in Europe. They don't get time off. I'm about to go to the beach, you know, blow off a little steam before training camp. They're going right to training camp in another country. They haven't been home in weeks and months, you know. And when she was telling me that story, it's just like, wow, that's insane. And nobody knows. And they don't even get paid as much money as they should, you know. And on top of that, you know, they go to 3 or 4 Olympics. This is what they do. That's when I truly knew, like, okay, you know, these women live it. Candace in particular, she was 18 years old, competing in the Olympics. You know, she just got drafted. She was just in the Final Four. She was just playing her regular season, and now she's in the Olympics. And then they have to go back and play more basketball. And then after that, it's summertime again. So the WNBA is about to start. You know, it's just, it was an insane schedule. But to watch these women do it, not only talk about it, but do it and have longevity doing it. I only played, like 13 years. These women are doing this for 15, 16, 17, 18 years. 4 Olympics. Like, I couldn't even imagine that, you know? So that was truly inspiring for me. I always try to get to a level where I don't make excuses. And after hearing their stories, I started, you know, making sure I keep my chin up and making sure I'm not complaining about anything, about the luxuries that I have that basketball brought me.
Speaking about your career, greatness, you know, you're at that level, 2 NBA championships, and then it's cut short. And lots would say almost unfairly so. I mean, you're in your prime. You're at your height of greatness. Take us into that, Chris. I mean, I can only imagine what the process would have looked like, but take us into the emotion.
Oh, man, it sucks. It's heartbreaking. It's surreal, unbelievable, and I don't mean in a good way. And for a while, I fought that notion. You know, not me. It couldn't have happened to me. This is not fair. I haven't done anything wrong. I came back from it. You know, it happened twice to me. I came back from the last time. I was in the hospital, laid up, you know, fresh out of surgery. And I was in the hospital for 2 weeks with tubes in my chest, you know. And I overcame that. Man, not just in a regular appointment with some doctor telling me that it's over. You know, it took a very long time to get over that. It was crushing. It was heartbreaking, you know, and I blew off steam at the time by, you know, trying to get back in the league. I worked out vigorously, trying to stay ready. But eventually I came to the realization that it wasn't going to happen. And, you know, it just sucks. You know, there's no other way to put that. I thought, and I say it in the book as well, I thought winning a championship was the hardest thing I'd ever do. And we say that, you know, it was like a mantra in the locker room. This is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. This goal right here. And it was true up into a point, but it didn't last very long. The true challenge was being able to see that, or you know, while I'm in the weeds, getting out of the weeds of saying, okay, basketball doesn't define me. I'm not a basketball player anymore. I once was, but that's not all to me. I didn't want to hear it at first because, you know, like you said, I'm on the top of my game. I have at least 3 or 4 more years to play at a high level, and I'm not going to waste it because I almost died. You know, I'm going to make sure I put everything into this game. I was able to get back to all-star level and still be, you know, not only myself, but a better version of my new self. And, you know, that was cut short. And, you know, you have to go through the stages of grief. You know, we're all human. There's nothing you can do about that. But I'm just happy that I was able to have a beautiful outlook on it at the end and eventually work through all that pain and get to this point. And that's a lot where this book comes from because, you know, I found myself writing out my pain. And after I got through all of Pat Riley likes to call it mental diarrhea. Got all the mental diarrhea out, writing every morning. I then saw that I was appreciative at the end of the day. I still had my life. My thing was, hey, if I'm going to have 13 years at this thing, I thought I was going to have 18 or 19. But if I'm going to have 13, boy, I don't think I left a stone unturned. There's nothing else that I could have done. I put my all into it. I dedicated myself to it. And man, that's a hell of a piece. And I can look back and be proud of that.
What's your legacy, Chris, in basketball?
Oh man, I get to go to the Hall of Fame. That in itself is just amazing. It's still being continued to be written. I think as a player, I just wanted to be known as a competitor, as a winner, as a good teammate, a good friend, that person that you could depend on. I don't care if I was sick. I don't care what has happened in the outside world. You can count on Chris. He'll be there. Every time. Even if you don't see me, he's back there. I wanted to be that person. I want that to be my legacy as a basketball player. And then as it continues, this book is a huge part. This book is a part of my legacy, because I want to help people. I want that player, I want he or she to have that book in their bag on the way to the big game, searching, looking for that thing, or captivated by this chapter to where they feel that they're ready to go perform, or I want that CEO or the ballet dancer or the person flipping burgers, the chefs. I want everybody to be able, whatever you need to get you mentally focused and prepared to do what you're about to do, because it's coming. If you're looking for it, it's coming. I want this book to kind of get you in that mind frame to be ready for that.
You're getting announced that you're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. In lots of ways, what it means to an onlooker, someone who just appreciates a greatness in a career, was interesting because you had the ability to rise, to be the number one, to be the guy, to carry a franchise. You were the face of basketball in a country here in Canada. But you also had the ability to fit into a team, to really work a team, to be the hub of a team in a different way. And that was recognized, and we see it. What was it like being the face of a sport in a country?
It's crazy. One of my college roommate, Jared Jack, he came out. We were both in the NBA, both made the NBA. And I went to go pick him up for dinner one time. And we were super young. I think I was 22, he's 23. We're still very young guys in the league, and we go out to dinner. And, we're hanging out. We're young single guys. Him just seeing the reaction from the fans and how much they loved, I can sure say love me, but love the game, to where they recognize me and say, Bosh, oh my God, let's go rap. It was common. And so much to the fact where he was like, man, what in the world is going on, man? This is crazy out here. This is like it's a different level of love. It was crazy. Just being able to play and know that you have a whole country supporting you, it was second to none. It took me a while to really comprehend it, but I just wanted to reflect that with my work. I knew that people coming to the game wanted to, see me play. I know people watching the TV were hoping, wishing, praying that the Raptors would be successful that year, just like me. So I always felt we were in the foxhole together, so to speak. And, just seeing the passion and how much everyone loved basketball out there, even when we weren't that good. Even when we were just young and scrappy, and I'm trying to be successful, and I'm saying, hey, Canada, you can count on me, and I don't even have any facial hair yet. they still said, okay, yeah. They took in that 220 pound, 215 pound skinny kid with big dreams, and I just always felt that I could do it there.
Chris, you've been an all-star in life, and you got a long life ahead of you. What's next?
Man, I've recently been just trying to work on being present. Of course, we have huge aspirations for this book, and I'm constantly trying to find new goals to go after. But I would say mainly I'm just really being open to being present, putting the work in every day, whether that's answering emails, writing letters, reading, working out, doing the things that keep me prepared. But most importantly, spend that time with my kids. I have 5 children, so get the time in with the kids, go on a date with my wife, have conversations with my friends, those small things, even if it's just taking the time to reflect for 10 or 15 minutes while I'm outside, get some outside time and just, admire how beautiful the day is, and appreciate it. Take those moments. Those are that's my number one goal that I hope to live by. And then, I'm going to consistently, make challenges and try to go after them. This book definitely being one of them. And my challenge now is to hopefully start a conversation centered around it. And I want to hear from people. I want to hear people's stories on how it helped them, because that will give me satisfaction knowing that somebody helped me, at one point in time, or those words that I read on that page really, really cut through and resonated with me, and I applied it and it worked. I want to hear those stories. I hope it helps people, and then, we'll go from there. But I just want to be happy and healthy, see these babies grow, and live as long as I can and have as much fun as I can.
Well, Chris, just like you wanted to soak up lessons from those around you growing up, your heroes, there's millions of people who are looking to soak up lessons from you right now. So, it's been an absolute honor from my perspective. It's been an absolute honor for Motiversity to have this conversation. We're wishing you the best.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And hey, guys, you can do it. You can do it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm telling you, you can do it. So take that.